Jones Angell of the Tar Heels Sports Network joins us on our other Mike segment. Jones, a lot of excitement in the Tar Heels state. 3-0 start for Coach Mac Brown.
Yeah, Lynn, it has been an exciting start, but a little bit of an uneven start for Carolina. I mean, the 3-0 obviously is the ultimate goal when that's what you're playing for, is to win the ball game. So for Carolina to be 3-0 after 3 games, that's what you want. But it has not been a real smooth ride to get to that 3-0, particularly defensively. There have been some bumps along the way. Most notably, a lot of people saw that fourth quarter against Appalachian State in a game that Carolina won, but gave up 40 points in a quarter, which is unthinkable. So it hasn't been perfect, but the record's perfect. So that's where the Tar Heels wanted to be through 3 games.
A W is a W. But since
right.
Notre Dame joined the Athletic Coast Conference as an affiliate in football, this rivalry between Notre Dame and North Carolina has really turned into something special.
There have been some really close games. This is a rivalry. You can't even use that term between these two because it's so one-sided for Notre Dame. This has really been a series that's been dominated by the Irish as far as just the ultimate result. Carolina's only won twice, and this will be the 23rd meeting coming up. But especially these last couple of years, these have been very competitive games. This will be the 3rd consecutive year that Carolina and Notre Dame will meet. And 2 years ago during that COVID season, it was a big ranked matchup here in Chapel Hill. That was a 1-score game until the very end. Notre Dame ended up scoring in the final minutes to end up winning by 14. And then last season, Carolina felt like it had put itself in good position to win, led early in the 3rd quarter at Notre Dame Stadium, was down just 4 points late in the 3rd quarter, early 4th quarter, and just couldn't get the stops that it needed at key times to be able to get out of there with a win. But these have been very competitive, quality games. I'd be surprised, honestly, Lynn, if this was any different coming up on Saturday.
Well, the Irish off to a 1-2 start. Notre Dame still looking for its identity, but a win over Notre Dame because of its marquee name. What would they do? What would that do for North Carolina?
Well, and the Tar Heels see this in basketball whenever they go anywhere, right? And Notre Dame feels this. No matter the type of season that Notre Dame is having, and by the way, 1-2, still so early. We know this is a quality team, regardless of what the record says at the moment. But Notre Dame just brings extra energy with it. It just does. And that's just a fact. And so when you have somebody like Notre Dame coming to your place, 3:30, ABC, national audience, all those things, it is an opportunity for Carolina on the national stage, because as we referenced a little bit earlier, right now, the narrative on Carolina, what the Tar Heels are known for, was that really poor effort in the 4th quarter against Appalachian State. Even though they won that game, it's a negative feel right now because of that quarter. And so for Carolina, it's an opportunity to turn things around a little bit. You get a quality win over a team that everybody knows, that helps change the narrative a little. And while that's not the ultimate goal, that's not the most important thing, certainly that is something that would be a positive for the Heels.
Jones Angell of the Tar Heel Sports Network joining us on our other Mike segment. Jones, give us an idea of who we should be looking for on both sides of the ball for the Tar Heels.
Sure. I'll start on the offensive side because it really has been an impressive first 3 games for Carolina on that side of the ball. Drake May, the redshirt freshman quarterback, has been outstanding. 12 total touchdowns, 11 passing, 1 rushing, just 1 interception thus far. And gosh, Lynn, I tell you, he's really, really good, especially for a young player. And he's 6'5", he's 220, he can run, he's tall, he's got a strong arm, he's got good touch. He's just a legitimate big-time quarterback. And for him, so early in his career to be able to have success like he has had has been impressive. And it's not just the stats. He's distributing the ball, he's making good decisions. He seems to be the least impressed person with everything that's happening. And so all of those things have really added up to an impressive start. And Carolina's skill positions, I think, are in a much better spot than where they were a season ago when Notre Dame saw them in South Bend. The Tar Heels have some young guys there, but they're really talented. A true freshman, Omarion Hampton, has rushed for over 100 yards in 2 of the first 3 games. George Pettaway, another freshman running back, really quick out of the backfield, good in the pass game. He can really hit some home runs with his speed. Caleb Hood is a second-year player. He missed the last game with an injury. Carolina hoping he'll be back. He's in that rotation at running back, big, powerful guy. And then all the wide receivers, Carolina has been throwing the ball around without their best player. Josh Downs has missed the last 2 games. He is expected to be back soon. It could very well be Notre Dame. If it's not Notre Dame, I would think it'd be the week after that, but he's getting much, much closer to playing. Antoine Green, who was Carolina's second leading receiver returning after downs. He has not played yet this year due to a preseason injury. They think he will be back very soon as well. So you could see both those guys in addition to all these young receivers, Kobe Paysour, a redshirt freshman, Gavin Blackwell, a redshirt freshman, J.J. Jones, a sophomore, who have done some really good things at that wide receiver spot. And they have 3 tight ends, all of whom have made big plays at a point or another in the first 3 games. So a lot of skill, Lynn, on the offensive side.
I said, you really talked about the offense. What about that defense of North Carolina?
So the defensive side has been a different story. You know, Carolina's 2 linebackers have been very good so far. Cedric Gray and Power Eccles have been very consistent. They're Carolina's best tacklers. They have played very, very well. The defensive line is deep, highly recruited. Those ratings on the recruiting trail are high. The production hasn't matched that just yet, Lynn, although I think it has started to get better. They have their best game of the season so far, the last time Carolina played 2 weeks ago against Georgia State. The real issue's been in the secondary. Carolina's really struggled to give up some big plays in the passing game, and there have been some busts back there. There have just been too many open receivers on the back end. And so that is an area Carolina has to clean up, not just for this week, but moving forward as well. So I do think the defense is better than it has shown so far, Lynn, but it's got to start showing it if Carolina wants to have a successful year.
Well, the way these games between North Carolina and Notre Dame have gone, what about special teams? This could go down to the final seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. Tar Heels have a really good punter, and Ben Kiernan. He has been somebody that's a consistent starter for multiple years now, averaging better than 50 yards a kick right now. He's only punted 9 times through the first 3 games, but has done very well. The return game has been just average for the Tar Heels. Josh Downs is their normal punt returner, so if he is back and healthy, that gives Carolina another weapon in that return game. And they do have a kicker that is kicking as far as PATs and field goals for the first time in his career. Noah Burnett, this is the first time ever that he has kicked in live action for the Tar Heels. He's been perfect thus far, 20 for 20 on PATs, 2 for 2 on field goals, both of which were over 40 yards on the road at Appalachian and were important kicks. So in limited action, he has shown well, but you haven't seen a whole lot of history with Noah Burnett so far to know how he'll react under pressure. But Mac Brown says all the times he wants that special teams to win a game for the Tar Heels. Carolina's been pretty good in that area. They did block a field goal last game, but they haven't been outstanding in special teams to this point.
Final question, Jones, a view from the broadcast booth. What are the keys in your mind?
Well, for Carolina, Lynn, I honestly think it could be the same thing from this week until they prove that it's not this anymore. And that is, don't give up the explosive plays on defense. That is, slow down the run game, and especially against Notre Dame. They've got especially Estime, that big, powerful back, and Tyree is so quick back there. They are so good in the run game and so good in that offensive line. That will be important. And for the Tar Heels, I think just to stay with the plan offensively. Carolina has been really, really good on offense. This will be the most talented team, of course, that the Tar Heels have seen to this point. So can they stay with the plan? Can they continue to do the things that they have done successfully on the offensive side? To me, though, Lynn, really, it's Carolina's defense. That's the big question to this point for the Tar Heels is, can they take a step forward on that side?
Jones Angell, voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels. Have a great broadcast.
Thanks, Lynn. Thanks so much.